to go? Of the Great Northwest and the Hawaiian Islands, Chris Charbonneau. Let's give Chris a welcome to the stage. Check you guys out. It's a sea of pink from down here. I can't thank you guys enough for your commitment, dedication, and all your support. We're living in some surreal times, aren't we? I think it's really weird that the only people not welcome to touch your pussy happen to be the professional gynecologists at Planned Parenthood. Congressional Republicans are really coming for low-income women, and we serve them, and we are really worried about that. Republicans are attempting to restrict women's access to health and defund us. And this would be a disaster for Americans hurt by people already struggling the most. People who live in rural areas, people of color, people who already face systematic barriers to care are the ones the very most at risk. I want you to know that we're doing everything in our power to ensure women, men, and young people have access to high-quality, affordable reproductive health care. And our teen council members here are a huge part of that strength. We're going to hand it over. Currently, there are 35 teen councils nationwide, and we're going to take it to every 50 of one of the 50 states, and your voices will be heard. So the thing we learned in this last election is our progress doesn't take a straight line. Sometimes we have a little dog leg in the process. But we're going to keep it going because we will be on the right side of the history that we're all making, and at the end of this, we will have won. More than ever, your voices matter, and more than ever, they need to be heard. We're in for a fight. Are you ready to do it with me? We're going to be really working hard together to protect our services and the patients we serve in our region. And your personal stories are really critical in helping people understand what's going on with these services and explaining them. You're here giving voice to thousands of people, each one of you, that couldn't hear themselves. So we're really focused on fighting the repeal of the Affordable Care Act, the defunding of Planned Parenthood, the return to gender rating in insurance when you could charge women 40% more just 'cause. Being a woman is not a pre-existing condition. So it's time for legislators in Congress to stop villainizing women and families, and I believe in this country, no woman or man should feel threatened for seeking out basic reproductive health care. Thank you all for all you're doing today and continue to do as part of Teen Council. We couldn't do it without you, and all the rest of you who are here to stand with our teens, go! I'd like to introduce a fabulous new legislator. Nicole McGreedy is going to come tell us about everything she's working on to help us out. Welcome, Nicole.
Yeah, I am honored to be here, and I'm overwhelmed by the number of folks who are here today. Thank you so much for showing up to the People's House and making your voices heard. My name is Nicole Macri. I am the newly elected legislator from the 43rd District in Seattle, Washington, and I am very grateful. But you know, my commitment to working on issues around justice, safety, and equity really started when I was a little girl. My grandmother, who's one of my greatest role models, she left my grandfather, an abusive husband, in the 1950s to raise her children, my mother and her two siblings, and work hard. And she was able to do that because she had access to affordable housing, affordable public schools, and affordable health care. And that motivated me for my entire career. I have worked my life on issues particularly around healthcare access, particularly for people who are the lowest income, people who have experienced homelessness. I have worked tirelessly on issues around access to mental health care and to housing. And what we know is that people who are most impacted by those issues have the least access to the reproductive health services that they need. And for me, this is a very important issue. It is one that impacted me definitely in my younger years. And I want to say my family background gave me the tenacity and conviction to stand up proudly as a lesbian over 25 years ago. Come out to my community. And services like Planned Parenthood that provide health access in non-judgmental ways were a critical resource to me when I was seeking out information about my own sexual health. I want to tell a brief little story. I saw a friend of mine this weekend, and she told me that she is having a baby. It's really very exciting because she and her wife have been planning for a family for a really long time. The second thing she told me, though, was that this experience has made her even more convicted in the importance of access to reproductive health services. She said, "I don't know what I would do if I did not have control over what's happening to my body right now, if I did not have the right to determine whether and when I became pregnant." This is why we're fighting for services, to make sure that women and men can plan out the reproductive services that they want and have the families when and whether they want them. This is a critically important issue to me. And I was really struck by this conversation we were having this weekend because it comes on the eve of truly a turning point in our history. As Chris said, we have made so many advances in our efforts, and we have a long way to go. And for me,
everyone should have babies.
Issues around abortion access, contraception access, reproductive health care, family planning are vitally important. Issues like marriage equality and affordable health care generally are vitally important. Louder. Okay. So what we're going to stand up for today, and what I am going to stand up for every single day, is to make sure that we know that what's happening in the other Washington, in Washington, D.C., is not going to happen in this Washington. We are not going to sit down quietly as folks of radicals in the other Washington try to defund family planning. We are not going to sit down quietly as folks in the other Washington try to dismantle access to affordable health care. We are going to make sure that the people of Washington State and people across this country have access to the preventative health services that they need and that make such a difference in the life of all of our families. And we are going to pass House Bill 1234 to make sure that women don't have to go back to the pharmacy again and again every single month to get the contraception that they need, that gives them the freedom to control their own bodies and their own lives. And we're going to make sure that if you have a family or if you have a family member who's sick, that you are going to get paid time off so that the most important thing in the world, taking care of the people that you love, is something that we all can do. It's truly an honor to be with you today. I hope I will see many of you at the Women's March in Seattle this Saturday. And now I'm going to turn it over. It's really my great pleasure to introduce a member of the Planned Parenthood Teen Council, Tina Bergel-Walk.